Wednesday. Self-published by Darren Gooding. I wandered lonely as a goat that looks on fear at Suffolk men and wonders if its nightmare might soon raise a leering head again. Two poets, punk, whose youth is past, are central to this evening's tale that shall relate their schemes and dreams, the bulk of which are bound to fail. Once full of fire and urban bile, their working days not long to go, these rhymers find themselves adrift, washed up in briny Wivenhoe, where writers, painters, sculptors too live hock by jowl and all art thrives. Eccentric Essex oddity, the Primark version of St. Ives. They bunk together, share the rent for cottage rustic by the quay, scribe bits of verse, weed paths for cash, then stare upon the northern sea. These scribblers from the 70s, though winter's cold and summer's gay, smoke fags, drink wine and reminisce and sift their sands of time away. There's Mervin Mule, the eager one. He's hyperactive as a bee, whose tweed and neckerchiefs belie one's Bowie-like androgyny. There's Stick Insect with bouffant hair in shades worn even after dark, on bone-bleached languid skull that drawls, Punk Salford God, Don Fletcher Park. Our story opes one Friday morn, and Mervin's up just after dawn.
Right, that's Mrs. Freak's vegetable garden cleared up as promised. In the sink with you, Mr. and Mrs. Pruning Shears. We'll wash the blood and semen off you later. Now, let's see. Still plenty of opportunity to get down to the church, reflash the chancel roof, pleach Reverend Thumper Twizzle's apricots, get back, strip, clean and reassemble the engine block on the truck before collecting Miss Arto's senior ballet class for their nutcracker rehearsal. Whilst they're marking Act 2, nip over to Jamie's studio, set the lead type for the captions accompanying his limited edition series of idiosyncratic lino-cut prints depicting forced perspective waterfront scenes from East Anglian coastal towns, pick up Miss Arto's senior ballet class, get in, and I should just have time to complete my latest collection of rustic ballads and write that blistering 800-word verse satire on corporate greed for tomorrow's Guardian before frying up Donny's breakfast. It's so nice to have a quiet morning.
Mervin, did I perchance hear mention of breakfast?
Blimey, Donny, what are you doing up at this hour?
Mervin, as you well know, I am renowned the world over for my healthy, ascetic, many have even gone as far as to say monastic-style existence. Pox on Dr. Robert's ready rub monkey gland substitute. Look, a mere 22.5 hours of daily somnolence is all that I, Don Fletcher Park, require to greet the world full of vim or whatever other reputable cleaning products I can expertly consume via means of a straw. Now, let's see what Monday holds in store. Mervin! What the hell's that?
What the hell's what?
That ominous fiery ball high up in the sky. What else could I be referring to?
That's the sun, Donny.
The sun? What the hell kind of time is this?
It's about 9:15.
Oh, thank Keats for that, Mervin. I was beginning to think...
In the morning.
In the what? Damn it, Mervin. My watch must be playing up again. Oh, curse these inexpensive Asian chronometers. That's the last time I purchase out from Taiwan.
What, not even the unlicensed button moon action figures?
Well, discounting basic necessities, obviously.
Phew. Look, what say I fry us up a couple of cans of the old all-day breakfast?
All-day breakfast? Before noon? It's behaviour like that which lost us the colonies and Manchester.
Not even the ones with the little sausages?
What? And the little black puddings and... No, tempt me not, culinary Jezebel. Breakfast in the AM. I have no wish to compromise my Adonis-like figure through such debauchery. Besides which, Mervin, what are all these bent spoons and hypodermics doing in our sink?
Oh, I was just helping old Mrs. Freak clean up her back garden again.
Another one of our al fresco Dutch-style tea parties, I take it.
What can I say? The woman knows how to host a coffee morning.
Yeah, I'll bet. Nothing says WI fundraiser like a bloodstained Bowie knife and a German machine pistol. And is that salad cream?
Anyway, it seemed the least I could do, considering we owe her 5 months' rent.
Mervin, how many times do I have to tell you this perverse obsession with regularly handing over perfectly serviceable cash of the realm to our so-called landlady is a fundamental betrayal of the cultural ethos of our beloved punk poetry movement. Besides which, we're skint.
I hadn't thought of it that way, Donny.
Moreover, if we start giving the old bag money, she'll only go and fritter it away on food and heating and other petty bourgeoisie trinketry. No, Mervin, it is our personal responsibility to defend Mrs. Freak from the insidious tendrils of the consumer Leviathan. Couldn't you have just promised her another kidney?
I've sold her 3 of mine already.
Oh, thank God that woman's no student of anatomy. Well now, our civic duty done for the day. How about that fry-up?
OK, Skipper, let's see what's in the cupboard. Donny, this cupboard's barer than the opening stanza of a traditional nursery rhyme. Not a single tin of all-day breakfast in sight. I wonder how that could have happened.
But when did you previously check the stores, Mervin?
Last night, just before I went to bed.
Oh, well then, perhaps you were beguiled, bewitched by the shadows of the twilight hour.
We had 409 cans.
Oh, all right, Mervin. My elaborate subterfuge can sustain no longer before this Gestapo-style interrogation. I may have possibly got a bit peckish in the night.
Peckish? Blimey, Donny, you put it away like a velociraptor with the munchies.
It's the artistic temperament, Mervin. Still, there's no point going on endlessly about who may have eaten whose breakfast. The only responsible course is for us to bury the hatchet, pool our resources, and for you to go down to Pound You Scrounged and purchase a couple of pallets of the high-tinned fat delight. Oh, and whilst you're about it, pick up some toilet duck. I think I've got one of me throats coming on.
OK, Donny, if you'd just like to give me some housekeeping money.
Oh, right. Well, the thing is, Mervin, this week's housekeeping is currently otherwise engaged.
Otherwise engaged?
But fear not, Mervin, because I, Donny P., have wisely invested every last penny in a short-term high-return onshore portfolio.
This portfolio, does it have hooves?
It is true that this particular fiscal product does possess surprisingly equine components. Oh, come on, Mervin. We both know that Wounded Tripod is a dead cert in the 515 at Doncaster.
Oh, not the nags again, Donny.
Anyway, you can't be strapped for a few quid. Scribing weekly topical ditties for all those left-of-centre broadsheets must produce reasonable fiscal remuneration.
True, but they don't cop up till the end of the month.
Well then, how much have we got to live on in the meantime?
I'll check my pockets. 27p. What about you?
What have I got?
How much have you got?
In actual coinage.
In actual coinage?
Including the coat buttons wrapped in milk bottle tops.
No.
Oh, but they've been fooling the Oxfam shop for years, Mervin. How else could I possibly manage to maintain this rococo plateau of sartorial elegance?
No buttons, no tinfoil. Real UK tender only.
Bugger all.
Well, that's breakfast knackered then. Hang on a minute. We could always go down to the village bookshop.
Mervin, how many times have I got to tell you? To devour literature is merely a figure of speech. Virtually no nutritional value can be derived from consuming even a whole shelf of Dostoevsky, no matter how hard you try, and trust me, I've thought this through.
No, Donny, you misunderstand. The bookshop's been stocking my latest collection of rustic East Anglian ballads, and they haven't settled up since Crimbo.
Of course. Thanks to your perplexing devotion to meticulously, nay, remorselessly chronicling the ever-changing seasons of the Essex fenland in interminable lyrical verse, we could soon be in canned fry up heaven. We shall away to Mrs. McSweeney's independent new and antiquarian bibliographic emporium forthwith.
I always thought that was an odd name for a shop.
Blimey, Mervin, what unexpected devilment is this?
I dunno, Donny. Police car? Ambulance? The last time Wivenhoe High Street witnessed this level of excitement was when the Mayfair's Morris troupe accidentally crossed swords with Miss Foxglove's Infants promenade adaptation of Last Tango in Paris.
Thankfully, this time our local law guardians seem to have things under more control. PC Nigel certainly making merry with the police tape.
Yeah, I don't like the way he's using it to rope off the pavement round Mrs. McSweeney's bookshop.
Oh, this is just bloody brilliant. 15 years as a special, and not once before have I got the chance to get the police tape out. Oh God, it feels great in your hands, like power. Yeah, but power made of plastic and on a reel.
Hello, PC Nigel.
Oh, morning, Mr. Mule.
What's going on here then?
Isn't that supposed to be my line? Oh, well, look, it's terrible. There's been an incident with Mrs. McSweeney.
An incident?
And other words in that sentence?
Oh, it's all right. Dr. Boatman's in there with her now. Oh, looks like he's done. Oh, doesn't she look natty in that oxygen mask?
Well...
The books! The precious books!
Mrs.
McSweeney! Quickly, Mervin, there goes our meal ticket. I mean, a woman in distress.
Collar that general practitioner!
Hey, what happened to the old fossil, pal?
Donny, show some respect, mate.
Oh, sorry, Mervin. I mean, what happened to the old fossil, Doc?
Oh, it's too early to say for sure. The neighbours heard a scream. I think something surprised her so much she collapsed.
You sure this isn't like the others, Dr. Boltman?
Well,
because Mrs. McSweeney is made of deceptively stern stuff. Indeed, beneath that fair isle-encapsulated breast beats the feral heart of a weekend survivalist and talented amateur kickboxer. No, gentlemen, the question is, what could have happened in that small antiquarian bookshop which was so shockingly unexpected, so hideously unnatural, so utterly unprecedented?
Maybe she sold a book.
Sold?
A book? Maybe she sold one of my books.
Eh?
That's it. That's it. You sold one of my local poetry collections, didn't you? Finally, after all these decades, you did it. You sold one, you gorgeous blue rinse book-selling old bag. Off with that oxygen mask and give us a kiss, you! What? Where's my money? That's £4.50 less 30% trade discount you owe me. Come on, cough up, you swindling old hag!
All right now, Mr. Mule. Please, no throttling the elderly. This isn't Christmas again, you know.
Sorry, PC Nigel. It was the mist. The old red mist welling up again.
Yeah, just like Foyle's 1982.
What are you gibbering on about, man?
Sorry, Doc, it's just something that happens to us poets when a sale occurs. It's not something we often have cause to talk about.
Look, Mr. Park, can't you see this woman is in no condition to answer questions? I need to rush her to hospital and get someone sedated.
Mrs. McSweeney?
Well, she'll do for a start.
I admire your diligence, Doc. Mervyn, desist.
You're right, Donny, you're right. Mrs. McS is in no fit state to discuss daily sales figures. We'll just have to check her till receipts.
Oi, watch my police tape.
Ruddy poets. No offence, Mr. Park.
None taken, Doc. None taken. By all the Hammer horror classics, Mervyn, what dust and cobweb festival is this?
Look, Donny, look!
Mervyn, be careful with that receipt, Spike. You could have somebody's wallet out with that.
It's a sale. A very palpable sale.
Oh, let's have a butcher's at that receipt, chum. So it looks like Mrs. McSweeney took a phone order today. The customer was a Mr. Dallas St. Magnum. Look, there's even an international number.
Yeah, but what was he buying?
Oh, damn it, Mervyn. There's no title listed. However, it seems to be by a... It's no good her aged and withered hand was shaking too much when she wrote this down. Mervyn, fish out your monocle and cast your aged and withered eye over this.
Okie dokie, Donny. Blimey. It looks like the sale was a book by Glutenborg?
Glutenborg. Is he one of those Swedish thriller writers?
Dunno. But it looks like the customer's planning to pick it up on Monday. Well, that's that then. No royalties for me. I suppose it's going to be weak cabbage soup for a fortnight.
Hold your horses, Mervyn. Let us not forget, a small second-hand bookshop such as this is the very beating heart of a close-knit artistic community such as our own.
It is? I mean, is it?
Of course. And if we desert this valuable civic amenity in its hour of need, we risk rending asunder the very fabric of English village life.
We do? I mean, do we?
If, however, we elect to take on responsibility for the running of this fine establishment, purely whilst Mrs. McSweeney is temporarily incapacitated, we would be doing our community an invaluable public service.
We would? I mean, would we?
Naturally. And my first executive action as temporary acting manager will be to pay the staff wages for the week, namely our own, in advance, in cash. Now, where's the no sale key on this infernal device?
Well, this is an independent bookshop. Try hitting the one that's worn down to a stump.
Eureka, Mervyn! Now then, how would you like to be remunerated for the week ahead? 10s, 20s, or just straight pound coins?
Look, Donny, I know this is very public-spirited of us, but do you think it might be misconstrued?
Misconstrued? How so?
Well, us coming in like this, without the owner's actual consent, while she's hospitalised, and then, well, not to put too fine a point on it, removing money from the till. Don't you think that might look a bit Well, off?
Nonsense, Mervin. I tell you, back in the days of the Empire, they had a word for this kind of thing.
Looting?
Initiative. Right, that's the trousers filled.
But, Donny, do you think we're really suited to the cut and thrust of provincial literary retail?
Well, Merv, I've read a few books, got a few ideas of my own. How difficult can it possibly be?
Well, whilst you're worrying about that, I'm going to clean this place up. Almost done to the shelf. Just carefully get the last bit of dust from the very end and... Oh, it's no use. I've been at this since Friday afternoon. Saturday now, and I'm not even going to get this literary rat-hole cleaned up in time for our customer on Monday, let alone find what book he actually ordered. Not with all this mess. Donny, I need a hand. Donny, what are you up to?
Fear not, Mervin, for I, Donny Park, have triumphed again.
Holy witch's brew, Donny. What's in that cauldron?
The solution to all our troubles. No longer will second-hand book dealers have to waste literally minutes ridding their precious stock of dust or worry unnecessarily about the problems of faded spines, yellowing page edges or the curse of internal foxing, thanks to Don Fletcher Park's patented miracle kill or cure cleansing preparation.
Oh no, not the chemistry set again, Donny.
Behold the new frontier of bibliopolic decontamination. Right, time to turn up the Bunsen burner. Now let's find something to test. Mervin, pass me that decaying old leather-bound tome.
This one?
Indeed. Now, let us take this worthless old pulp. Firstly, we slip out the book's index card. Secondly, we examine the sorry state of these tired, shabby, Gothic lettered pages.
Donny, are you absolutely certain that's the right book to be practising on? There's something awfully familiar about the beautifully illuminated medieval print and double folio handmade Italian paper. I mean, it looks really old.
Exactly, Mervin. We don't want to risk anything expensive now, do we? Thirdly, we secure the book in these lovingly constructed safe-handling forceps.
Not to mention the 2-column 42-line black letter printing. Donny, mate, I think you might want to hold fire a moment.
We check the gauntlets to see no human flesh is exposed.
Because according to the index card, I think this might be...
And finally, we plunge the book into the deep cleaning final solution.
Donny, no!
Right, that should do it. Let's take a shufty.
Is it supposed to be smoking like that?
Well, maybe it's had a stressful day. Who are we to judge? Incidentally, what was it you were going to say, Mervin?
Well, Donny, the thing is, I think this book was likely the very one Mrs. McSweeney sold yesterday.
Excellent, that'll save us the trouble of cleaning it later. So, this is the one by that Glutenborg fella.
Yeah, except it isn't Glutenborg as much as Gutenberg.
You say potato, I say buy me chips. Now then, let's get this baby open and examine the fruits of my not inconsiderable genius. Yeah. Utterly pristine, optic white, entirely unadulterated by staining, foxing,
Printing.
details, Mervin, details. Why are you so down in the mouth?
Well, the thing is, Donny, I think this is, or I should say was, an authentic, previously undiscovered Gutenberg Bible.
Mervin, why this sudden ecclesiastical angst? It's not like the world is short of Bibles now, is it?
But, Donny, this was printed in 1455.
1455? Oh, thank Christ it wasn't you.
Donny, you misunderstand. This was printed by Johannes Gutenberg in Mainz, Germany. It was the first Bible ever created using new movable type and one of only 135 near identical copies ever to be printed on paper.
Well, at least it wasn't popular or anything. Just think, we could have done this shite to a second-hand copy of the Da Vinci Code. And you can get up to 27p for those on eBay.
This was priceless, Donny.
Well, I must confess it might be good fodder for a wry anecdote at some point. However...
Priceless as in worth a bleeding fortune.
What, more than 27p? Are such payments possible within the literary arena?
I should, Coco. Look at what's on this bill of sale.
They're the customer's phone number, so what?
That's not his phone number. That's the agreed price. No wonder Mrs. McSweeney collapsed when she discovered she had this on her shelves.
Mervin! What have you done?
Me!
Well, of course, you're legally the responsible adult here, aren't you? Right, it's time to think and think fast. Mervin, when was it that Mr. Dallas St. Magnum is due to fly in and purchase this exorbitant sketch pad?
Noon on Monday.
And it's currently?
Saturday.
Good. Now, the pages and bindings are still in perfect order, so all we have to do, and by we I of course mean you, is reprint the entire book.
Perfectly and accurately reprint an entire Gutenberg Bible.
Yes.
But that means I'll have to hand carve a full set of 290 master's characters, stamp them into an iron matrix, use that to cast multiple lead-type blocks for each individual character, hand mix an oil-based carbon ink with copper, lead and titanium additives, borrow Jamie's printing press, then manually typeset, ink and print all 1,272 pages, based on the traditional Paris Vulgate group of texts, of course.
Of course. And the problem is?
What am I going to be left to do Sunday afternoon?
Oh, well, we'll see if we can scare up some ironing for you. This is no time to be selfish, Mervin. Mervin, I'll take it from your all-over coating of Indian ink that you finished cleaning up at Jamie's.
Indeed. Monday morning and all is well. So, what do you think of the new Gutenberg?
Oh, excellent work, Mervin. I must say this is one of your finest forgeries so far.
Please don't use the F word, Donny. We call it en homage. It's just a pity I ran out of time for any freehand rubrication.
I should hope so too. This is a family bookshop.
I mean the illuminations, Donny. It would have been nice to do a few, but that clean-up took longer than I anticipated.
Never fear, Mervin. For once again I, Don Fletcher Park, have come to the rescue.
Excuse me?
Whilst you were idly hand-scrubbing Jamie's lead type, I have been adding those small but essential artistic touches which will elevate this humble, functional Gutenberg Bible into a work of art worthy of the attentions of even the most aesthetically demanding Yank godbotherer.
Eh?
Behold the tools of a great artiste.
What, behind the children's crayons?
No, Mervin, I refer to the children's crayons.
No, Donny, please don't say you haven't.
There's no need to thank me, Mervin. Although I am particularly proud of my illustration of the Sermon on the Mount. Just over the page, pal.
Donny! Why is Christ depicted as a stick man balancing precariously upon the tip of a 5-year-old's cartoon version of a mountain?
There's nothing wrong with naive primitivism.
And what's more, why is Christ wearing sunglasses?
It's a self-portrait, Mervin. I was simply drawing upon a long-respected tradition of the creative artist casting themselves in the messianic role.
Are you sure that was such a great idea?
If it's good enough for Albrecht Dürer, it's good enough for Donny Park. I'm particularly proud of the hair.
Yeah, and one other thing. Why is the Sermon on the Mount depicted in Revelations?
Revelations? Oh, damn the gay ambiguity of this Latin text. Never mind. The buyer's an evangelical American he's bound not to notice. High noon. That'll be Mr. Dallas St. Magnum now.
Which one of you homosexual men is Mrs. McSweeney?
Blimey, this one really is an American.
I wasn't addressing you, boy. I was talking to your master. Now get back to your cotton field before I whip your backside.
Eh?
Mr. Dallas St. Magnum, I presume.
The same, sir, the same. I have come to this God-forsaken pit of iniquity and self-identifying sexual deviance on behalf of the Open Carrier Church of the Immaculate Preconception, and I believe that you, sir or madam, for such is your sin, have something for me.
Here it comes.
We have indeed. Now I'm sure you'll be over the moon with your purchase. I mean, how could a simple fundamentalist Christian boy from the deep south who has made his billions through the international arms trade and hiring out platoons of crazed private mercenaries be anything other than entirely reasonable and forgiving when a slight error occurs? What a delightfully shiny Colt revolver. Now, I tell you what, pal, let's dial down the temperature and we'll have a discussion of comparative religion. Let's start with the merits of Buddhism.
And, then that's when he shot you, sir.
What? Shot? Oh, where? How? Nigel, specify.
Steady, Donny. Tea's coming, gent. Milk, PC Nigel.
Oh, I don't mind if I do, Mr. Mule.
Thought so. Anything for you, Dr. Boatman, or have you got your hands full with Donny's head and those forceps?
He's fine, Mervin. He's almost got the last bullet out.
Yes, it would be easier, though, if you just hold still.
Yeah, so, returning to your statement, Mr. Park, he shot you the second time when you said, besides which, pal, I don't know why you're so worried about an old Bible anyway, given that God doesn't even actually exist, and if he did, he'd be a black lady anyway. I should know, I mean, I've seen that Richard Dawkins bloke talking all clever on the telly like. I mean, your founding fathers must have been the first to fall out of the dick-wit, ugly-arse tree to believe any of that creationalist cobblers. And that's when Mr. St. Magnum shot you through the head, sir.
No, how many times? It was when I reasonably pointed out to the uppity Bistetson colonial that we used to own his stinking tin pot country anyway, and that Donald Trump is a fatuous wanker and was clearly guilty twice. That's when he got frisky with the Colt 45.
So, did it hurt being shot through the head?
I've had worse, Doc. I've performed at the Ipswich Regent, you know.
Yes, Dr. Boatman. Fortunately, the many bullets in question all struck Donny exclusively through the hair, missing his cranium entirely.
As luck would have it, beneath this glorious bouffon I am blessed with an unfeasibly small head.
Yes, you're quite a medical miracle, aren't you, Mr. Park? There we are. That seems to have got it. I'll leave it to your hairdresser to close.
Yes, and it was after that you were spurned and left for dead.
Just like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill Volume 2.
Without the being buried alive part, obviously.
Obviously. Well then, I think I have everything we need, gents, and so unless there's anything else, I'll bid you both good afternoon. You finished, Dr. B?
Yes, I'm afraid that's all I can do for now. With so many people about. Witnessing.
Right, well, bye then.
Yes, goodbye, Mr. Park. Make certain you rest up that hair. Tea, Donny? Then perhaps we can have our regular Monday evening Button Moon Marathon.
Mervin, what are you thinking? You know I never take my tea black. Pass me the Vim.
Sorry, Donny.
Who would have thought this humble, ubiquitous cleaning product could provide the basis for the finest of all tea-based cappuccinos?
Clearly only you, I suspect, Donny.
That's better. Well, all's well that ends well, eh, Mervin? Which reminds me, whilst I was waiting for you to clear up at Jamie's, I came one step closer to perfecting Don Fletcher Park's literary final cleaning solution.
Oh, God. I mean, did you?
I did indeed, Mervin, but this time I made certain I tested it out on an entirely worthless text.
What was the book?
Oh, I don't know, just some ratty old doorstop about Shakespeare by some bloke called First.
First? His second name wasn't Folio by any chance, was it?
That's the fella, so you do know him then.
Oh, no, Donny, no!
Poets Day, self-published, was written by Darren Gooding. Performed by Damien Bell and Darren Gooding, with music by Darren Tansley and Stuart Armitage. With Greensleeves, tastefully murdered by Damien Bell. The sound recording was by Stuart Armitage at Colchester Arts Centre, and this is an I Hear Voices Theatre Company production.